Tank Museum.
Yeah!
Thank you. We'd like to welcome our VIP and weekend pass holders to our setup day. How's it been so far?
Great!
By a show of hands, how many of you have never been to Aquino Tank Weekend? Then you have no idea. Friday is our VIP and media day. We had a lot of television media here covering it. It'll be on tonight's news about what's going to happen in this Steel Aces tank arena over the next 2 days. So yeah, we saw a lot of heavy machines moving today. A lot of our VIP ticket holders got their main battle tank ride. We had the people in the APCs, the M113, riding through the airfield. But tomorrow we're going to have two main shows. One commemorating the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe and the liberation of the Netherlands, the Second World War battle reenactment. What do you think about that?
Yeah!
Also this year, we're commemorating the 35th anniversary of the 1990-91 Gulf War. And I'm not sure if you've been down there yet today, but we have 15 veterans of that conflict down in the desert that you want to probably go over there, and they're standing beside the vehicles. Not a vehicle like theirs. They're standing beside the vehicles that they served in during the Gulf War 35 years ago today. Let's hear it for those veterans that came out here. Now, by a show of hands, who here has ever heard of Steel Aces? There's a few. Well, if you haven't heard of Steel Aces, you're definitely going to learn more about it over the next couple of days in the main shows. Now, Steel Aces is a new player versus player online multiplayer tank and military vehicle game developed out of Germany. It's going to be released shortly, and we'd like to thank Steel Aces for coming all the way to Canada, supporting this museum, and sponsoring Aquino Tank Weekend. Let's please hear it for our sponsor, Steel Aces. It's sponsors like that that make history come to life and shows like this possible. As you can imagine, it's incredibly expensive. So in the Military Vehicle Conservation Center, we have a lot of visiting museums and outside organizations that have their booths there for you to visit. And you can also get a chance to actually play the Steel Aces game. And what's very special for us is one of the first vehicles in the game, and this is really important to the Canadian Tank Museum, is a Canadian military vehicle. Can you believe that? A Canadian military vehicle, and you'll learn more about that. The General Motors Fox, which was actually built in Ontario, actually built in Oshawa, about 5 minutes drive from here. So we're very excited to see these historic Canadian pieces digital in a video game that people can enjoy around the world. So we've had tank rides today. We've had a lot of cool things happening out in Worthington Commons, but you can't come to the Canadian Tank Museum without seeing at least a small show. So today's highlight is we are going to have a simulated tank battle between two Cold Warriors. And I'm going to introduce the tanks and the special commanders that we have commanding those tanks in this battle. So you guys ready for some tank action in the arena? Marshal, roll out the tanks. first contender with googly eyes is a Belgian Army Leopard 1A5. This was one of the most advanced variants of the Leopard 1 series. Now, this was a Cold War tank that was developed in the 1960s and was purchased by many NATO countries, including Canada, through the 70s and 80s. And it's still in service with 14 NATO nations around the world. Also, over 200 of those were sold to the Ukraine and are currently on that battlefield. It is a deadly main battle tank. Its main weapon is a 105 millimeter main gun. Now, the Leopard is known as one of the fastest main battle tanks that was ever built. To get that speed, they had to sacrifice armor. So although it has some fairly thick armor on the front of the tank, the front glacis plate there, the sides of the armor and the turret armor may or may not take a direct hit from an opponent. They sacrifice that armor to give it incredible maneuverability and speed. Now, the tank commander we have here today, we can wave to see the tank commanders. You may know this tank commander. She's pretty well known in the tank world. We have Sophie Lynn. And she is our representative from our sponsor, Steel Aces. Now, the opponent is a Cold War bruiser, the American-built M60 main battle tank. At least 10 tons heavier than the Leopard tank. It has the same firepower, 105 millimeter main weapon, but it has sacrificed maneuverability for being a massive grunt. Look at the front glacis plate. No hit from that weapon will ever be able to penetrate the frontal armor of this M60. So, how does this work? Well, first let me introduce the commander of the M60 from Alberta, Canada. You might also know this international contributor and YouTuber. We have Matt Maximus. So during Aquino Tank Weekend, we do this once every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it is the battle of the M60 versus the Leopard. And the best out of three wins the title of Aquino Tank Weekend 2025 Battle Royale. But this one is special to kick it off. It's not just the Leopard and the M60, it's a battle between Sophie Lynn and Maximus. And what they have learned from hanging out with the Canadian Tank Museum about tactics in the Steel Aces arena. So, you are going to vote at the end of the simulated battle, not for your favorite influencers or YouTubers, not for your favorite tank. You're going to be voting based on which crew outfought, outsmarted their enemy. How did each crew get on target and fire on their enemy while using the features of the Steel Aces arena? How did they use the unique capabilities of their tank to defeat the enemy? Was it the Leopard using its speed and maneuverability? Was it the M60 using its strong frontal shield, its armor, to protect itself from the Leopard? Is this sounds like something exciting you want us to kick off now?
Yeah!
Okay. When this is going on, I'm going to be far out of the arena. I will be narrating what I see, but you'll have to make the decision at the end of the battle as to which crew won Battle Royale. Leopard crew, are you ready? M60 crew, are you ready? Move to firing positions. M60 already in firing position before the Leopard. Tracking the target. Leopard now moving it into a hold-down position. First shot off by the M60. Return fire by the Leopard. M60 is not waiting to take another shot. The Leopard fires on the move. The incredible speed of that Leopard. See how he's down to the next. The M60 is still trying to get there. Leopard pivoting its frontal armor towards the enemy. And that frontal armor is also protected by that feature by the Leopard. M60 with a return fire. Leopard now not waiting. Leopard charging the enemy. M60 doing a great job of tracking that moving target. Can the Leopard get a shot off into the engine compartment of the M60? Tracking the target. Great shot by the Leopard. If that could have been an engine kill hit. M60 tracking the target, but the Leopard seems to be charging, not giving the M60 an opportunity. M60 is in a bit of a rough position right now. The Leopard at close range could fire right into the rear engine compartment. M60 tried to track the Leopard, but no gun depression on the rear deck of that tank. Can the Leopard get a great shot again? M60 crew firing away. But again, the maneuverability, that speed of that Leopard 1 main battle tank. Okay, now the M60 is in a safe position. How quick? Sophie's crew quickly moving into firing position, getting off a shot and then keeping moving. Very difficult for the M60 to keep track. At this point blank range. M60 chasing the Leopard out of the fire. Oh, shot right into the engine compartment. Maximus trying to get his M60 to go faster. Has all the armor, but definitely not the speed. Leopard now kind of playing it safe. Again, with that skill with that Leopard, right behind the hill, M60, possible hit on the move. Return shot by the M60. Tankers, let's move it out front. Move it out front. The battle may be over, but that Leopard still wants to chase that M60 out of the tank arena. Tankers, tankers. Bring it back out front. For Maximus and his crew. Oh, Leopard crews always showing off their speed. Okay, so generally, how was that?
Awesome!
That's a way to kick off Aquino Tank Weekend. So, the M60. It's a little warm inside the tanks apparently. The M60. We gotta remember, any shots by the Leopard on the front of this vehicle would have just bounced right off. So I saw that the M60 got the first shot of the round. Some really good maneuvering with that front armor. Just didn't have the speed to get away from the Leopard tank. Now over here with the Leopard, definitely showing off your speed. Any hit by the M60 on the side of your tank would have ripped through one end and right out the other. But fantastic maneuvering and speed. So the way this works is with applause, clapping and shouting, you're going to tell us who you thought won Battle Royale. Are you ready?
Yes.
Who believes that Maximus and his crew won Battle Royale?
Yeah! Yeah!
All right, Hollywood. Who believes, with applause and hoots, believes that Sophie Lynn and their Leopard crew won Battle Royale?
Yes.
Mats, I don't even have to take my hearing protection off. Let's hear it for both crews.
Yeah.
So that is just a tiny piece of the action that you're going to see here in the Steel Aces Tank Arena during the rest of Aquino Tank Weekend. We have massive shows showing off vehicles, battle reenactments. We have professional movie pyrotechnics and professional movie armorers. That means that real machine guns, real small arms along with these tanks. We hope that you enjoy the rest of this VIP and media day here at Aquino Tank Weekend. If you are a VIP tank ticket holder and you haven't yet had your ride in the MBT of your choice, then please head over here to the station right after this demonstration. Again, I'm Jeremy from the Canadian Tank Museum. Thank you to sponsor Steel Aces, and thank you for coming out to support the Canadian Tank Museum. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah!
Tankers roll out.